guys? So today's video is going to be a sorority Q&A, spilling all of the tea on the current sorority that I go to. If you guys are new here, what's up? My name is Keaton, and you guys can subscribe if you guys want more college content. I am a senior at Arizona State University, and the sorority that I'm in is Alpha Phi. Obviously, you guys already know that. I feel like some people, when they do sorority Q&As, are like, I'm not gonna mention which one I'm in, but like, everyone knows. It's like in my bio, it's on my Instagram, whatever. So yeah, that's the sorority I'm in. I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about that. You guys have tons of questions for me, so don't forget to subscribe. And you guys can also follow me on my Instagram and Twitter, because I post every Wednesday and Friday on this channel, but I post every single day on my other social media, so you guys can keep up with me over there. I have some really cool giveaways coming up. You guys are really going to want to subscribe, because I have a really awesome giveaway coming up in the next month. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to like stop rambling. I am eating these oven baked cheese bites though. They're from Trader Joe's and they're literally so good. Wow. So I asked you guys on my Instagram to ask me any sorority questions that you guys have, and I feel like in the past I've kind of gone around certain questions. I've just been like really like vague with some of them, but I feel like I'm about to graduate. I've been in a sorority for 3 years now, and I feel comfortable telling you guys all the things that I've experienced, and so that's what I'm going to do. A lot of this is going to be tips and questions that people have about rushing. A lot of you guys have asked me a lot of questions about rushing and what you do. I have a completely other video all about that. I will link it down below. It's one of my most viewed videos. It's super helpful if you guys are rushing. Seriously, watch it. But I am gonna do a bunch of questions here, so let's see. Are sororities really that strict on what you do, what you post, and who you talk to? So my sorority and most sororities are extremely strict on what you do, whether that's partying, drinking, doing drugs, any of that. Obviously, they don't want you posting on social media. If you are underage and you are posting on social media, alcohol, if you guys are in high school and you post on your Snapchats alcohol and all that kind of stuff, there's none of that in a sorority. If you post any alcohol on your Instagram story, even if you're watching The Bachelorette and you have a wine glass or something, like, absolutely not. You can't do that. That's just like not a thing. You're underage. You shouldn't be posting it anyway. So yes, they are strict on that. Who you talk to? No, they're not strict on that. Like, I don't know if that means other sororities, if that's the question, but no, they're not strict on like you can't talk to other sororities. Everyone's friends with everyone, so that's not a thing, but they are strict on what you post. Some sororities, not my sorority, Arizona State, is a bit different. Every sorority is different. So everything I'm saying in this video might not apply to you, but my sorority doesn't really care about, you know, like bathing suit photos or anything like super like explicit like that. Like they really don't mind. But a lot of Southern sororities for some reason do mind if you guys post like a lot of bikini pics or like anything semi like sexy. Some sororities do care, and I've had friends in Southern sororities where they've been asked to delete them, not to post them anymore, which I think is a tad bit controlling in my opinion, but it is what it is. Sororities have certain standards that they like to uphold. If you don't want to be a part of it, then you don't have to be, but that's how it is. Is it worth it for the money you pay to be in one? So if you guys don't know, obviously money is a big factor in whether someone is going to join a sorority or not. I know a lot of you guys, I always get comments are like from the UK, and you guys are like, we don't have sororities. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's all really different, and it's a lot to take in. Basically, it is a lot of money to be in a sorority. Everyone has different prices, but a sorority is as much work as you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. If you're paying a bunch of money for this sorority, but you never go to a chapter, you never go to a formal, you never go to any sisterhoods, you never go to any events that they put on ever, then no, it's not worth it. But if you guys are actually like invested and you're trying, you know, you're paying money, and that goes into any of the philanthropy events that you guys have. It goes into the sisterhood, it goes into the sleepovers, it goes into the fundraisers, it goes into everything. So it is worth it in that way. It really just depends on how much you put into it. For people who are like super inactive, which I personally am not as active in my sorority as I was when I was a freshman and sophomore. My junior year, it faded out because I don't live in the sorority house like I used to. I used to live in the sorority dorms like with everyone else. So obviously I was way more involved, and now my junior year I moved off campus, and so it was just a lot harder to go to events, a lot harder to be around people and that kind of thing. I obviously am still doing recruitment this year, but I am not as involved as I used to be. So for me, I'm like, wow, this is a lot of money for me to not be going to a lot of things, but it really is personal preference. What is dirty rushing? Dirty rushing is basically when a sorority member, someone in a sorority already, is either like messaging you on Instagram, liking your photos, commenting on your photos, adding you on Facebook, talking to you on campus, or like having coffee with you before you rush or even during your rush. Like, that is 100% not okay, and we actually tell PNMs are potential new members, we normally tell them to let someone like ahead of your sorority recruitment know, like, hey, this person reached out to me, they're in this sorority, blah blah blah, because it's not allowed. Like, that is dirty rushing. That's basically just like trying to get to that person and like be really nice to them. It's just like really, like, I don't know. Also, if you're going through recruitment and the person talking to you, the girl in the sorority, is like, oh my god, we really want you, like, we have a place for you, like, I want you to be my little, I want you to do this, like, that is still considered dirty rushing. Like, just because they're being like overly nice to you and being like, you would be like my like, if they're just like giving you promises, that's like the #1 rule as a recruiter. We are never ever allowed to promise you anything. Like, I'm never allowed to say to a new member when I'm talking to them during the recruitment, like you're gonna be so awesome here, like, you have a spot on bid day. Like, you're not allowed to say that. That's 100% dirty rushing, so you should also tell someone if that's the case. Do bigs and littles always get along? I think this is a huge misconception. People are really nervous and like interested to see how bigs and littles works. So obviously I am literally in love with my big and little. My whole family, my great grand big, my grand big, like literally my whole family, like, love them. Shout out to you guys, because you guys literally changed my life. But that's not always the case. There is a really short time frame. Well, for my school specifically, and for other schools, there's a short time frame to get to know people. So once you're a new member and you're recruited, you're in the sorority, there's gonna be like a bunch of people talking to you all at once. I don't know how it works for every sorority. We have like a system set up where we like go to lunch with a bunch of girls and you meet them and you kind of figure out who your little is gonna be, and you like pick them and that kind of thing. But I feel like it takes way longer. I feel like it takes like a year to get to really know someone. So obviously the big and little situation is not always going to work. There have been tons of people who have gotten bigs and literally ended up hating them, and like, you don't have to have that person as your big. If you get a big in your sorority and you guys don't click, or you get a little in your sorority and you guys don't click, it is okay not to want them as your big. That doesn't mean that you need to drop the whole sorority. It just means like, this person isn't for me, and everyone's like, oh my god, does everyone in their sorority all get along? No. Like, do you get along with 300 people that you just met? Like, no, not everyone in their sorority gets along. There are certain personalities that go with other personalities, and that's just life. Obviously you guys are all in the same sorority, but it doesn't mean you guys have to freaking like sit around and sing kumbaya. Like, that's not the deal. So obviously if you guys get paired with a big that isn't your best friend, or you guys just don't click, it's okay to not have that person as your big. You don't have to have them as your big, and that's fine. Obviously it's hard because there are other people who are really close with their bigs. Like, I have a really great relationship with my big and a really great relationship with my little and my grand big and everyone, but it's not always the case. You can always talk to your director, your like recruitment director, or your whoever your sisterhood director is that's in charge of big and little. You can always talk to them once you're in the sorority and be like, I just don't feel comfortable. You can also, this is like weird, but you can also get a big and say like 5 months after you get that big, you start clicking with someone else and they're like, oh my gosh, like, I should have been your big. You can leave your big and get adopted. It's a really big, it's a lot to take in, but that is also a thing. You can get adopted by someone else. Was there pressure to drink at parties since you don't? Yeah, there was a ton of pressure to drink at parties. I mean, my freshman year, I just joined a sorority. I had no friends. I moved to a state where I never knew anyone. I literally knew 0% of people, and that was the whole reason I joined a sorority, was to make those relationships. And a lot of times you join a sorority and all of those people are used to their high school life, and in high school they all go out and they drink and they do this and that, and obviously I'm put in a situation where I don't have any friends, I don't know how to make other friends, so these people in my sorority are my friends, so whatever they're doing, I'm gonna go with them to do. That doesn't mean I drank. I never drank. I still have never drank. I've never been drunk, and I still went with them to every single party and every single date party and all of that, because I was just like, if this is how they're hanging out, I am not gonna be the one to sit back at my dorm and feel sad for myself and leave myself out of these things. Obviously, partying is not my scene, and I've learned that, but what I did was, like, my freshman year, I would go to all these parties and I would go to date parties, and that helped me meet people in my, like, what is it called? What's the word? Your, like, group. It's like your PC group, so the group that all rushed together. Anyway, it helped me meet more girls in my sorority that were in the same group as me, and I built really amazing relationships, and I built my best friends. After I built those relationships, we hung out outside of parties and outside of all of that. We would go to lunch together, we'd go take pics together, we'd go to museums together, all of that, because it wasn't like as necessary to be doing all of that all the time. So there is pressure to drink, but I am not I'm not influenced by anyone else's actions, so me going out with them never made me like want to drink or do any of that. That's just not how I am. Once I did make those relationships though, I was just like, okay, great, awesome, and like literally stopped going to parties, because that's all I went for, was to make friends. Your least favorite thing about being in a sorority. I think my least favorite thing about being in a sorority, I love my sorority, so obviously I don't want you guys to be like, oh my gosh, like, worst thing ever. No, I think the least favorite thing, and I think this goes for a lot of people in their sororities, is I just like to do what I want to do, and I don't like people telling me what to do. I have quite a problem with authority. I've always been like that in high school, junior high, like I've been suspended, I've been whatever, like just because I have a problem with people telling me what to do for some reason. And so being in a sorority, they're not controlling, like they don't make you do anything, but they do, you know, want to control certain aspects. I mean, your Instagram, if you're not active enough, it's like you can get in trouble if you're not going to enough functions, if you're not going to chapters, and like that is kind of annoying to me because I have other things outside of being in a sorority. But at the same time, I chose to be in a sorority. I signed up for this, I pay for it, I go, so like I can't really complain about that. It is just kind of annoying sometimes just because I have other things I need to do. I'm traveling a lot, and so I can't always be at every single sisterhood and formal and function and all of that. So this one says, do you guys actually judge girls based off of Instagram? No, I think people are super, I'm getting a lot of questions about like, I'm super intimidated, I don't dress cute, or does your weight matter? And like, I feel like there's a super misconceived idea about what sororities are doing and like how we pick the girls. We go through months, if not like a year long of like training and prepping for recruitment, and if we were just gonna go to recruitment and talk to you guys and just be like, oh yeah, she's cute, oh she has blonde hair, oh she's white, oh she's like, what, like why would we go through all of this training just to pick you guys off of looks? Never ever ever. If you are in a sorority and you're talking to someone and you feel like you are like being judged by your appearance or whatever, like don't pick that sorority because they're the ones doing it wrong. Most sororities do not judge off of that. We judge obviously off of like your GPA. Like we want girls who, you know, have a drive and succeed and will be focused in school, because those are the type of girls that, you know, you want in your sorority. You want like a strong, intelligent woman in your sorority. It's not all about looks. And we want people who have done, you know, community service in high school, people who will actually come to our philanthropy events and like actually put in the work it takes to like be in a sorority. Like we don't want someone who's going to be joining a sorority so they can get drunk every single weekend and pop Molly with all their girls. Like, okay, cool, partying is like one scene of a sorority, but like there is a lot more that goes into being in a sorority. And so judging off of looks is not at all what the case is. So if you guys are intimidated by that, you guys shouldn't be. Just feel confident, be yourself, because there is somewhere for everyone. No matter what sorority you guys want, or you guys have this idea of like, oh my gosh, this sorority looks so much fun, I really want to be in that one. Like, that doesn't matter. Your ideas will change the second you get into recruitment. The second you start talking to girls, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I fit here or I don't fit there. You guys will know. So take those ideas, get them out of your head. That's not a thing. Instagram, like, no, we're not gonna just pick someone because they have 10K followers on Instagram. Is it too late to rush as a sophomore or a junior? So no, it's not too late to rush as a sophomore or junior. I'm just gonna tell you right now, as a senior, just don't rush. Because the thing is the reason that it is harder for sophomores and juniors to get into sorority than it is for just like all freshmen to get into sorority is because as a sorority and as like recruiters, we want girls who are going to stay throughout their entire college experience. We want girls who are going to have that 4-year impact. That is what we want. We want you guys from the beginning of your college experience and to go through with the sorority all 4 years. That is just like the most fulfilling thing for us. And so obviously freshmen we really want, but we have a ton of sophomores that we have in our sorority. Like my sorority, we have a ton of sophomores. Juniors, it is a little bit harder, but it's not impossible. There are still juniors that do go through recruitment, and everyone has their own place. So I would say, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, it's not any easier for sophomores and juniors. It's actually harder the older in years that you are, but it's not impossible. We have sophomores. I don't think we have any juniors, but we do have sophomores, and juniors have been going, there have been juniors that have gone through recruitment and made it into a sorority. Why did Natty choose to leave? If you guys don't know, Natty is my big in my sorority, and she chose to leave junior, senior? Maybe her senior year, or maybe her junior year. I can't remember which year it was. But Nat did choose to leave my sorority because she was one of those people where she had so much going on. She literally was like full-time sand volleyball, literally woke up at like 5 a.m. every single day, went to practice every single day, full day of classes, like so much on her plate, and she could never make a chapter, she could never make a formal, she would never go to parties, anything like that. And so she was just like, why do I pay every year all of this money when I literally can't make anything, I have so much on my plate? So she did drop. She's literally still my best friend, still my big. I still call her big. Like, it is what it is. There's no like beef or anything. She literally just had so much on her plate. She was like, I just can't pay for this anymore. How hardcore is the Insta stalking? 1000% hardcore. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now so you guys know, there have been people who are so cute, so adorable, the easiest people to talk to, could fit perfectly in a sorority, loved them, and then you find their Instagram, you find their Visco, you find their Twitter, you find their Finsta, you find all of these things on these girls, and you see how they really are. And if you think that your sorority isn't gonna find those pictures or those old tweets or any of that, then you're wrong, because we stalk hard. We have literally an entire committee. There are people in every sorority who their job is literally to look at new members' Instagrams, and that's just facts. We know what you're doing. So if you guys have anything, profanity, anything on your Finsta, anything in old tweets, might want to go through and delete those. Any pictures on your Instagram that you might think are a little iffy, just archive them. If you guys are going through sorority recruitment, don't be private. That is no fun for anyone. We want to see you. We want to get to know you through Instagram. Instagram isn't everything, obviously, but it is a really easy way to just kind of see your life, see who you hang out with, where you came from, learn a bit more about you. So I wouldn't be on private when you're going through sorority recruitment. Do the relationships between the girls feel forced? Yeah, at times when I first got into being in a sorority, it feels forced, but that's not because it's fake. It's not that. It's more, it feels forced because you have now just joined a sorority and there's like 200, 100 or so girls that you feel like, oh my gosh, like these are now my sisters. I have to be best friends with them. I have to talk to everyone. And that's not the case. Don't feel forced to do that. It's not that there was people forcing me. Like, there's not people in your ears like, be friends with every single one of your sisters. Like, that's not the case. It's more just like you feel pressure on the inside because you've just joined a sorority and you're like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm supposed to feel like this. Don't feel any type of way. You literally just do what you can. Reach out to girls that you feel like would best suit you. Ask if they want to go to coffee. Ask if they want to hang out, if you guys want to go out together, anything like that. There are certain situations that are going to feel uncomfortable, but that comes with making new friends. It's not just in a sorority. Imagine moving schools, moving high schools, and you go into a new school. Things feel forced because you're just like, I don't know how to make friends, so like I kind of have to force myself to be friends with these people in a situation. That's how it feels. And through you know, getting out of your comfort zone, you make genuine relationships. Like I can genuinely say some of my best friends, like literally the only friends I have at ASU are ones that I've met through my sorority, and they're not some fake friends that I just like scan by and say hello like on the street. No, like these are like my girlfriends, and they are all from people I've met in my sorority. Like I joined a sorority to make genuine relationships, genuine friendships, and like a sister, and I've found that. So it will feel weird in the beginning, but it's not forced. It's just, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta put yourself out there. Are there cliques within the sorority? Yes, 100%. As I've told you guys, there's a lot of girls, and not everyone is going to be friends. It's the same situation in any other, you know, in any other environment. In a work environment, even though you all work together, there's still going to be cliques in a certain work environment. In classes, there's going to be cliques in certain classes. That's just how it is. Your entire life is going to be like that. So if you can't deal with that in a sorority, then you can't deal with life, because there's going to be cliques anywhere you go. In a gym, there's cliques. Like there are literally cliques everywhere. So in a sorority, there are certain groups of people who just get along better than others. There are just like different personalities going with different people, and that's okay. So don't get offended, because I feel like my freshman year, I was super upset because my freshman year, when I first got into my sorority, there were girls who like found their friend group like that, and like found their group of girls like that, and I was just like, I'm not there. Like I'm still kind of like looking for like my person, you know? And that was kind of disheartening in the beginning, because I was just like, we're all supposed to be sisters, we're all supposed to be doing this, and like the reality is you guys are all in a sorority, but you have to pick and choose who you want your friends to be. You guys aren't all gonna like the same things. Once I found like Natty and my Little and all my other friends, like I just was like, okay, like now I know, you know, who my friends are. I also keep getting questions about being hazed. I was never hazed. This is a no hazing school. If you are at all feeling like you are getting hazed in a sorority, like tell someone. Like that's so messed up. That's so messed up. I was never hazed. 100%. I don't know anyone who was hazed. So if you guys, you know, are experiencing that, you have to tell someone, because that's not right. Do you ever find yourself judging people prematurely based on their frat or sorority? I think the number one thing that really messes with people going into recruitment, if you guys are going into college and you're getting prepared and whatever, is you guys are looking on the sororities' Instagrams. You guys are looking at the girls who are in these sororities. You guys are like creeping, and you get a preconceived idea. Maybe you know someone in that sorority that you're about to go to that school, and you're like, oh my gosh, I know this girl, or you follow this girl that does this, and you see all her fun stuff. You have no idea what a sorority is. You may follow these Instagrams, you may see these girls, but you have no idea what a sorority is. You have never been in a sorority. You have never paid your dues. You have never been to a chapter. You have never been to a formal. You may have a sister who was in that exact sorority, and she's told you all the freaking tea and all of this stuff, but you've never been in a sorority. So until you've been in a sorority, you don't know anything about it. And that's the number one thing I would tell you guys, is like, you don't know anything, and that's okay, and that's exactly how it should be. There are so many preconceived ideas about certain sororities. There's, oh, this sorority, those girls are also rude, or oh, this sorority, they only pick these types of people, and oh, this sorority, like they're in trouble because they did this, or oh, don't pick them, they all do this, and like that has to leave. Like that has to leave your mind, because you are going to start going and talking to these girls, and you're going to be so confused. You're going to hear so many bad things about this one sorority, and you're going to get in there and you're going to be talking to these girls, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I love them so much. What do I do? What do? You pick the sorority that you get along with. Don't let other people's like opinions and decisions and what ways they win and what they chose affect how you feel, because there was so many people that I was friends with, and we would all, you know, we would all go through recruitment together. I met so many girls in the lines, and they would be like, oh my gosh, did you hear that this sorority did this? And like, I can't believe them. Oh my gosh, I hate this sorority. I remember there would be so many girls I would be in line with, and they would be like, wow, Alpha Phi is so fake. Wow, Alpha Phi this, da 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 da. And they would talk so much crap. In the back of my head, I was like, wow, I really, really love Alpha Phi, but now I don't know how to feel because these girls don't like them. And it's like, why do I care what they think? If I had a great conversation with this girl and I love them, then that's the one I should pick. It doesn't matter if they're a top tier sorority. It doesn't matter if they're at the very bottom or at the very top or in the middle. Like, that doesn't matter. You should be basing who and where you go on the conversations that you're having. That was a big rant, but that's like my #1 pet peeve is people who just like judge other people off of the sorority that they're in. And it's like, that has nothing to do with the girl that you just spoke to and had a conversation with. Are sororities at ASU intense or laid back compared to other schools you know about? I feel like my sorority or like sororities in general at ASU are way more laid back because I have a lot of friends who are in sororities in like the South and other places, and they seem way more strict than we are. We do a lot of stuff. We post a lot of stuff. We have a very different like vibe than Southern sororities, and that's just how it is. I feel like we're definitely more laid back. What are some other questions? How do they actually pick or weed out girls when there is so many? Is it truly based on looks? It's not based on looks. We want to have genuine conversation with you guys. Like, we want to get to know you. When we are talking to you and we're asking you questions, like, we're literally not just like, oh yeah, like blah blah blah, like asking you questions for no reason. Like, we want to talk to you guys. If I'm talking to a girl in recruitment and I'm asking her a bunch of questions, she's like, yeah, I just moved here, I really like it, like my roommate's really cool, and like I bought some new, like, no, like that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. Like, I'm here to know about what you're gonna do for our chapter and like how it's gonna affect us. Like, I'm not here to hear about your Instagram followers. I remember I was talking to so many girls and they would be like, yeah, like in high school I did this, and like I was prom queen, and I like, okay, and like, I don't care about that. I don't care about your looks. I don't care about your Instagram. I don't care about any of that. Like, there were some really awesome, beautiful girls, and I was just like, you literally, it's like talking to a wall. Like, I literally can't talk to you. This conversation cannot go on. So like, we would drop them. I would drop them. I'm sorry, like, if I talk to you in recruitment and like whatever, but like, I would drop them. If I couldn't have a conversation with you, you couldn't keep the conversation going, you were too nervous, you were too this, like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just how it is. We're not basing like how we pick you into our sorority based off of your looks. You genuinely have to just be able to have a conversation, and you guys probably are super nervous about having to have conversations and go into rooms and meet girls you don't know, but if it is a sorority that you fit into, the conversation will flow so easily. I remember like there was like so many sororities that I had gone into, and I was talking to all these girls and I was just like, yeah, like it was a good conversation, but it wasn't like substance, it was just whatever. And then I would go into other ones and I would be talking to these girls and I'm like, wow, it feels like I'm just like talking to a friend right now. Like, I'm just like really connecting with you. Like, it could be about whatever, and that's how you know, like, okay, this is somewhere where I could see myself. And that's kind of just how you weed out the ones where you feel like you're trying to keep up with the conversation and like force things and like put things here and like, yeah, like talk about random crap. Like, that's just like not where you would fit in. You need to go where the girls are actually wanting to know about you and you're wanting to know about them and that kind of thing. You will just get that vibe. I promise, once you go into sorority, once you start going into the houses, you'll get that vibe. As you can see, the lighting has changed a bunch. It's getting super dark in here, but I hope you guys liked this video. I think I'm gonna end it there. I answered a ton of questions and I feel like I've been talking a lot. I know there's so many more, but I am gonna do more sorority videos. I'm going to be posting a like what to wear for sorority recruitment, what I wear for my ASU recruitment. I know some schools have, you know, t-shirts and certain things like that that they give out, and you have to wear certain outfits on each day. I'm going to show you guys outfits that I wore when I was going through sorority recruitment. So yeah, that is everything that I'm going to be covering in this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys liked it. And I forgot to mention that you guys are now seeing my bedroom, which is so freaking cute. I'm going to be filming in here a little bit more, and I promise an apartment tour is coming. I'm waiting on like 3 more things in my apartment, and then it's officially done, and I will give you guys an apartment tour. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and you guys can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Stay updated on what I'm doing. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to do that. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.